I'm Alex Mers. I'm a licensed professional clinical counselor. I use she, her pronouns. My role at Freedom Within, I get to provide therapy to clients walking through our doors, and I also have the role or the title of site supervisor. And that means I get to support our therapists in a lot of their behind the scenes work. Ever since I was little, without having the word for it, I've been an empath. So I've always been drawn to talking with people about their feelings, tuning into feelings, a desire to help people feel better. And I off and on considered becoming a therapist, but chose to go a different route at college. And then sadly, my best friend suddenly died when we were 19. And that was a major tragedy in my life. And at the time, I really struggled for one of the first times for a very long time. And that became the turning point of I wanted to be able to help other people go through help other people through one of the darkest points in their life, because I don't think I could have made it out the other side without all of the help and support I got at that time. Right now I work with individuals, and if not already obvious from the earlier questions, I work with grief and loss. But I don't think that comes just from experiencing the death of someone important in your life, or a special pet or animal. Grief and loss comes from a variety of different spaces and places. So it could be that a loss of a relationship, a loss of identity, a move to somewhere new, making the choice to disconnect from certain family members or friends that no longer are helpful or supportive in your life, and that in itself is a loss. So I've found in the work that I often see themes of grief and loss in a variety of different forms, so I tend to bring that into the space. But in addition to that, I work with anxiety, depression, trauma reactions that you're having to past experiences. I love working with parents, being a parent myself, in the daily struggle of it all. I also enjoy working with folks who are having relationship issues, and anyone who is kind of in that parenting space, going through the prenatal period, the postpartum period, and how all of the stress and change and intensity of that is impacting them. Yeah, I was thinking about this question as I was arriving to work today. I try to be as real as I can. I try to be fully me, while also knowing I'm the one that you might be coming to see for help. So I maintain a balance of giving you all the things that I know that might work for you and that you might need, while also being a totally real person. And why I thought of this as I arrived at the office is because I have a half-faded temporary Hello Kitty tattoo on my arm that I did not work to scrub off, because this is a part of my life. I'm a mom, I have little kids, I go to birthday parties at the park, I might have toothpaste stains on my shirt. Like I'm not trying to button it up and be perfect in this room, because I don't want you to feel you have to show up that way. So I do that by showing you my imperfections, by bringing in humor, by connecting on different levels other than what we're talking about in the therapy room. I try to just be a real person as much as possible. At Freedom Within, I specialize in grief and loss, and I think that sets me apart as a therapist, not only at Freedom Within, that it is my number one issue that I work with, but also generally in the mental health space. I've found as I interact with other therapists and with clients, and even with people in my life who learn that I'm a therapist, there's this jaw-dropping moment with the idea that I choose to work with grief and loss. And what I found is there's this general American culture, societal approach to grief that is, let's fix it fast. Let's do it in the first couple months, if not the first year, make this go away. Let's tie it up in a neat bow so that this person no longer has to be in pain. And I think in general, our society and our culture does that for ourselves and not for the griever. And for the person who is grieving, this is a significant, detachment and loss from a primary attachment figure in their life. And it takes much longer and it needs much more patience. And I am more than willing and able to sit with grief in a room with somebody for as long as they need, with no expectations, no timeline, no agenda to fix it. And I find that sets me apart because I think in general, someone who has had the loss of a person or important figure in their life, they tend to feel from everyone else that they need to hurry it along and that it needs to be fixed in some way. So I really appreciate that it's something that I am able to offer people when they may have not really found someone in their life who is willing and able to do that for them. What I've learned in being a therapist from each of my clients, from my own experience, from interacting with other staff members, is that I believe we all share along some point in the way, we were told that our unique self was not okay to show up, that our differences were not accepted, that there was something about us. Maybe we were told by an adult, a trusted adult, a parent, a friend, a sibling. Maybe we weren't told and we just observed in other people like what was acceptable and that we weren't that. And I believe that caused each of us at some point along the way to develop like a protective layer, if not many, or a protective wall, or whatever it is for you. And we built all this up, and at some point we got to a place where we lost our connection to our unique self, and we made our unique self not okay. And I believe that causes some internal distress and confusion. And when we go through hard stuff, we really don't know who we are or how we got there. And what I hope in the therapy room is that I'm able to help you understand maybe why you started building those layers or walls, where they came from, if those still need to exist, and how we can start to peel them away and dismantle them and choose if you want to still have them moving forward, so that I can help you reconnect with that unique, beautiful, wonderful self that was never flawed or wrong, that will lead to more confidence, more security, more trust, that you know how to navigate the rest of your life moving forward when we choose that therapy can come to an end. Sometimes I laugh at how alphabet soup the therapy approaches are. So I can throw a bunch of letters at you and you might not even know what I'm talking about, and you'll probably need to go Google them. So I hope to explain a little bit more of what they really are when I throw the letters out there. But I tend to first use a client-centered approach, which means I figure out like what pace and timing and style feels best to you. And when I say best, I mean most safe to be able to explore some of the harder things that you're bringing into the room. And from there, typically it goes the route of a little bit of CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. We're really looking at what are the things happening outside you that tend to kind of activate you, in a way that feels distressing or uncomfortable. And when we look at that activation, there can be thoughts associated with that external button that's been pushed, emotions, things happening in the body, and ways that you respond or how you behave. And we start to pull those things apart and look at where you might want to make changes, or which parts of these were taken on, as I said earlier, because you thought you had to or that you should. And how do you truly want to respond in the present moment moving forward to feel more secure and feel more confident and comfortable in being you? So that's CBT. I use a lot of that. And then I also am a big believer and proponent in EMDR, which is there's a lot of long words, but it's eye movement desensitization reprocessing therapy. And this one is so helpful. And we look at what is happening when you're activated. What are those present day things happening that push those buttons? And we trace those present day situations back to experiences in your past that weren't processed and stored in a healthy form, and they're causing you to react in present day from a place of the past rather than what is actually happening in front of you. We use bilateral stimulation for that, which is just a long word for activating both sides of your brain so that we can reshape and restore those memories into healthy form so that they're no longer activating you in present day interactions at the grocery store, with colleagues, in your relationship, when you scroll through social media and see something. So EMDR is something that I love using with folks, as long as that's something that they also feel comfortable working within. I actually grew up in the Midwest, so I grew up in a small town, rural America, kind of knew from the beginning that I wanted to experience more than that. So I've moved all around. I've lived in Colorado, North Carolina. This is my second time living in San Diego. I came back because I think once you fall in love with this area, your heart just continues to be pulled to it. So I am a mom. That's a big part of my identity. I have 2 kids, elementary and preschool aged right now, and I'm a big dog lover. We love a good family movie night, popcorn. We cook a lot in my house. I'm a really good cook. I'm an awful baker. I hate the idea of like specific measurements and things. I like to just throw stuff and see what happens. I like crafting. I love yoga. I like to be near the water, which is why I'm back in San Diego. And